Hello, welcome to the Ark of Our Safety podcast. I'm going to talk about the name of my YouTube channel and where I came up with it and why it's important for each of you. So stay tuned, stay in the Ark. All right, so I've been going on for almost a year now, a little bit over a year on this YouTube channel. And it wasn't until about 3 or 4 months ago that I started to mention the name Ark of Our Safety. So appreciate those who have been listening to me and who have been supporting me. I am very appreciative of the 8 subscribers. Okay, I almost laughed because it can't get any more perfect. Because if you think of Noah's Ark and how many people actually were on the Ark and were able to witness the original rainbow, it was 8. So thank you so much for the 8 subscribers who have been listening to my videos and have been very patient with the technical glitches and my fumbling and foibles. I promise that the videos will get better. I've gotten a video editor, so I'm hoping to improve and to have my own set of corrective optics to my YouTube channel. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been for several months now that I've been attempting to do this video, but I really felt it important to do the Hubble Space Telescope and CoStar series and the historical record belongs to God. I felt like those had to be achieved first before I officially came out and explained what the Ark of Our Safety is. And so it's with great anticipation that I now share with you where it came from. So I found a website called the Founders Online. And this is a wonderful, wonderful website. I'll leave the link below so that you can go and read this letter. But it has several of the Founding Fathers' letters, personal letters that they wrote to each other, to other people in that time. And you can just go straight to the truth. You can get so many different ideas and understanding and insight into the Founding Fathers simply just by going to this website. And I came across a letter that Thomas Jefferson had written in the year 1809 to the Essex County Massachusetts Republicans. And he was praising them for the independence of thought, for the absolute backbone that they had when it came to understanding and preserving liberty and freedom. That they were unflinching, that they were committed to the cause. And so this got the attention of President Thomas Jefferson, who served from 1801 to 1809 as President of the United States. So he was very, very appreciative of their just standing up and really being a citadel of freedom and liberty. So he's very, very grateful for that. But then in the second half of the letter is what I will read and we will focus on. But he says this: sincerely and affectionately attached to our national constitution as the Ark of our safety. And when I read that, I was taken back. This got my attention a lot. And I thought, imagine if more people in this country viewed the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and just kind of the founding era of America as an ark. That during that time, that formative years of building this nation, that they finally came up with an ark to where if people got bored, if they got aboard on this ark, that they would be protected from the outside forces of the floods of tyranny. And I thought, that is so cool to look at the Constitution as Noah's Ark. And I thought, what a perfect name for the YouTube channel. And honestly, the name would not leave my mind. I just kept on thinking about it over and over again, kind of like with the prophet Joseph Smith and James 1:5. I just kept on pouring over on it again and again. And so that is what I ultimately decided to call the YouTube channel. And so I'll finish the letter. But he says, the ark of our safety and grand palladium of our peace and happiness. I learn with pleasure that the number of those in the county of Essex who read and think for themselves is great, and constituted of men who will never surrender, but with their lives the invaluable liberty achieved by their fathers. Their elevated minds put all to the hazard. And then he continues, I thank you, fellow citizens, for the kind interest you take in my future happiness. Okay, Jefferson was all about happiness. And what gets in the way so often in the history of this world, what gets in the way of our happiness is tyranny. And so how grateful I am for Thomas Jefferson for penning the Declaration of Independence, and for a group of men to finally say, you know what, there's more to life than government. And they placed, for the first time in the history of mankind, they put in words that government is not the ultimate authority, that they're not the arbiter of truth, that there is something higher in authority, and that authority is God, or what they would call overruling providence, divine providence. And so he finishes, and I sincerely supplicate that overruling providence which governs the destinies of men and nations to dispense his choicest blessings on yourselves and our beloved country. I just love that. I absolutely love that. And I think Thomas Jefferson is one of the most misunderstood founding fathers. He's very different than a lot of the founding fathers. He's not orthodox in his views of Christianity, but it is clear that he believes that Christianity was the most sublime form of any religion in the history of mankind. He clearly stated that in his writings and in his letters. And so the thing about the Ark of Our Safety is I knew what I thought. I thought Ark of Our Safety. He's talking about Noah's Ark. What a perfect way to view the Constitution. But I also didn't want to jump to conclusions. I didn't want to just put my biblical stamp of approval on this and just jump to a conclusion, because it could have meant something else. And so I wanted to be deliberate. I wanted to be cautious. And so I decided to go to the 1828 Noah Webster's dictionary. Now, the Noah Webster's dictionary of 1828 is amazing. I mean, I didn't realize how much effort and work that Noah Webster put into getting that dictionary. I mean, and I'll do a separate video just on what he said. He gave a preface to the dictionary, and in that preface he discusses in detail, his thought process, his journey, and how he even came to come up with a dictionary that had over 70,000 words, which is a huge undertaking, especially for one person. But just to kind of give the Webster dictionary, kind of give it in to give some context behind it, I'll read just a few of the things that he said in his preface, so that we can understand kind of the lens through which to look at the dictionary itself that he came up with. All right, so he said this: The United States commenced their existence under circumstances wholly novel and unexampled in the history of nations. There's nothing quite like the history of the United States. It is exceptional. It is different. It has produced completely different results from most, from all governments. And so he really wanted to convey that United States is special. It's a special nation. And he wanted to explain why. He continues, they commenced with civilization, with learning, with science, with constitutions of free government. Okay, what a concept. Governments should produce freedom. That's what they should do. And if they produce freedom, which gives mankind happiness, then they can bless other people. What a concept. And it took us a lot of blood, a lot of history to get to that point. But then he says this. This is Noah Webster. And with that best gift of God to man, the Christian religion. That's what he put in the preface. He's saying the best gift that God has given to man is the Christian religion. The suffering of Jesus Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane, the crucifixion, the cruel crucifixion on Calvary, all of the trials that he had to suffer, the unjust trials, and then the eventual overcoming of death with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ overcame the world, and he created a pathway for all humanity to overcome sin and to overcome death. That is the best gift that God has given to humanity. And Noah Webster is writing that in his preface to the dictionary that he created. Absolutely fascinating. And so I looked up the word ark in Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary because I didn't want to assume anything. I didn't want to read into Thomas Jefferson saying something that he didn't intend. And Noah Webster gives 5 definitions of the ark. Okay, number 1, a small closed vessel, chest or coffer, such as that which was the repository of the tables of the covenant among the Jews. This was about 3 feet 9 inches in length. The lid was the propitiatory or mercy seat over which were the cherub. So the first definition, he's talking about the Ark of the Covenant. He's referring to the Bible. I was floored when I read that. I had no idea that was in the 1828 Noah Webster's dictionary. And I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Okay, the first definition, biblical. Let's see what the second definition is. The vessel in which Moses was set afloat upon the Nile was an ark of bulrushes. So he's talking about Moses and how his mother, Jochebed, built this ark of bulrushes and then placed him in the Nile River. Okay, so again, that's a good sign, biblical. And then the third definition that he came up with, or that he has, the large floating vessel in which Noah and his family were preserved during the deluge. And I thought, okay, here is my proof. Thomas Jefferson, when he was referring to the Constitution as the Ark of our safety, could have meant any one of these 3 definitions. And so I feel completely justified in my interpretation that Thomas Jefferson was wanting us as Americans to view the Constitution as Noah's Ark, okay, as a safe place, as the only place in the world where mankind would be protected from their own government, would be in the Constitution. And so absolutely, I'm going to call in a future series, I'm going to continue to unfold and explain some of these other possibilities, but I'm personally going to stick to Noah's Ark, to view the Constitution through the biblical lens of Noah's Ark. Okay, so the other two definitions that he has is he says it's a depository, and then he actually gives a scriptural verse in Psalms 132:8. And then his fifth definition is a large boat used on American rivers to transport produce to market. So out of the 5 definitions that Noah Webster uses to describe what the word ark means, 3 out of the 5 is biblical. I love that. And I think that's what more people should be doing, is getting people to view the lens of the Constitution through the lens of an ark, through Noah's Ark. In fact, that's the only way to understand truly the Constitution. There are many today that have a lens of secularism. They try to say that the Founding Fathers, that everything about the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence is godless, that they were trying to come up with a godless Constitution. And so I would counter that is incorrect. That is absolutely incorrect. And Thomas Jefferson shows us why it's incorrect, and that we need to view the Constitution through the biblical lens of Noah's Ark. And so with that, this is a new chapter in my podcast, and I will continue to go into more detail into Noah's Ark and some of the other possible meanings. But there is so much symbolism behind it, and I am very, very excited to be able to continue under this name. And I hope that many, many people will be impacted, and that they will understand how important our freedoms are, and especially on this July 4th and this month of independence that we get to celebrate our founding fathers and how they gave their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor for the cause. May we do the same. May we have faith in our hearts, faith in God to lift us up above our current circumstances, and may we hold up our light as the light of the world. God has given us a candle, but if we hold up that candle, God can multiply that light, and He can shed that light and give people new understanding so that they can feel the presence of God in their lives, and they can feel the power that He is going to do in this country once we as Americans and people of this world can start turning our hearts and our minds to Him. With God, nothing is impossible. And there's actually, I think our biggest fear that we have is that we're inadequate. But I don't think that's our biggest fear. Marrian Williamson wrote this poem. She says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light." Okay, that candle. Think of that candle. Each one of us has a light. Each one of us has divinity within. Each one of us has a piece of Jesus Christ within us, and we have to see that. That's our identity. That is our motto. You know, e pluribus unum. Out of many there is one. Meaning, in Christ we can find identity, and we need to see the Christ in each other to be able to get our country back. Not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And we're liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. I know that as we hold up the light of the gospel, the light of the scriptures, that we will bring into America the third great awakening. And that with this reformation that will occur in America, we will be a people ready to see Jesus Christ come and rule as King of Kings and of Lord of Lords. Have a great evening. Have a happy July 4th, and may God bless you, may God bless America, and may He bless the whole world.